Icon series.
Okay. So Abdul Kalam's father, Jainuddin, was a boat owner and his mother was a housewife, right? And his family was a poor family. There were a lot of members in his family. Okay. It was a poor family and the only earning member in his family was his father from the boat. So, right from a small age, he used to do some works, which includes one of his cousin was a newspaper distributor. So he used to help his cousin working as a newspaper boy or picking the newspapers and all. Right? So he used to help his cousin. Then he used to do some petty jobs also so that he too can earn some money. He was not a bright student. He was not the topper of the school. He was just an average, above average student. But he was very hardworking. He was very hardworking. So hardworking that he spent hours and hours studying subjects. Maths and physics were his favorite subjects. So, that was his childhood. His father was a boat owner. His mother was a housewife. There were so many members in his family. His father was the only earning member in his family. And he too used to do some petty jobs like distributing the papers and all, newspapers and all to earn some money from a very young stage itself. Okay. So, there was a school called Rameshwaram Elementary School, a government school. Elementary school means what? Yes, primary school or the basic school. Okay. So at this island of Rameshwaram, there was an elementary school and he had his basic education there. After completing his schooling, he actually wanted to go out to the mainland, means leave Rameshwaram, come to the mainland of India, continue his education. But his family was not that rich, isn't it, to come to fund more for his education and all. But still, he was so studious, right? So after completing his education, he joined St. Joseph's College. In which college did he join? St. Joseph's College in Tiruchirappalli. Where is it? In Tiruchirappalli. It was affiliated to the University of Madras University. So he continued his education in this college of St. Joseph's College in Tiruchirappalli, affiliated means what? Yes, which it comes under. Okay, so for this college and all, the syllabus, exam and everything is prepared and conducted by this university. So he continued his education there and he graduated. Graduated means what? He took a degree. He took a degree in physics in the year 1954. So he continued his education there and in the year 1954 he got graduated in physics, means he completed his degree in physics. Then he moved on to Chennai in 1955. Okay, so he completed his graduation 1954. He completed his graduation and in 1955 he moved to Chennai to study aerospace engineering. So what do you mean by aerospace engineering? Yes, aerospace engineering is a subject which deals with designing, manufacturing, improving aeroplanes and rockets. Space vehicles are there, no? The vehicles that the astronauts use to go to the space. Okay. So aerospace engineering is a branch of engineering which deals with designing. Designing means what? Yes, to draw the designs, check with the specifications, the structure, the shape and all. Right? Then making them, checking them, bringing in more improvisations and all. Okay? Of aeroplanes, rockets, space vehicles, space shuttle, we simply call them. So, in 1955, he moved on to Chennai means Madras. Now it is called Chennai. In those days, it was known as a Madras. So in 1955, he moved on to Madras and started to learn aerospace engineering. So when he was learning or studying aerospace engineering, there happened one incident. So the dean means what? Dean means whom? The head of the institution over there. Okay. So he was not happy with the project, an assignment. Okay, we have assignments, no? Project works, yes. So the dean gave the students in his class, Abdul Kalam's class, a project. Okay. Abdul Kalam did the project, submitted it, but this particular person, the dean of that particular institution, the head of the institution, he was not happy with the work. He felt that Abdul Kalam can do it better. At the same time, he was angry also because he didn't do that better. Okay, so he called Abdul Kalam and said, you should complete this project and submit to me within 2 days. Okay, it was a big project, quite difficult to complete in a 2 days time. But Abdul Kalam said, yes, sir. He submitted also. 2 days he worked so hard that he completed the project and the dean was surprised. Is it possible? He came from such kind of a background. He knows very well that working hard is the only way by which we can achieve success in life. Okay, so he worked hard for 2 days, completed the task and gave the project, submitted the project to the dean. The dean was surprised. Okay, so it went on like that and he graduated in aerospace engineering from Madras Institute of Technology. Okay, so after completing his graduation in St. Joseph's College in Tiruchirappalli, in 1955, he came to Madras Institute of Technology, graduated in aerospace engineering and completed that in 1960. Okay, he completed that in 1960. After completing his graduation in aerospace engineering in the year 1960, he worked as an aerospace engineer at DRDO. DRDO means Defense Research and Development Organization. Okay, so DRDO is a government organization who conducts extensive researches, who make new vehicles, new weapons and all for the defense. Defense means what? Is Army, Navy and Air Force. Okay, so Army, Navy and Air Force are what we call as a defense, and DRDO actually develops new missiles, new rockets, new warplanes and all. Okay, so warplanes, missiles, rockets. So he worked as an aerospace engineer at a DRDO and then he shifted to ISRO. What is that? Indian Space Research Organization. So ISRO is that organization which also comes under the government of India, which deals with the satellites programs and all, space technology, launching, developing and launching new satellites. So that is ISRO. Okay. So first he worked with DRDO and then he worked with the ISRO. And he was a project director for the first indigenous satellite launching vehicles. So what do you mean by satellite launching vehicles? Yes, we make the satellites and we have to send this satellite from the earth to the space. Okay, so some vehicle we have to use to transport these satellites that we make to the space. Isn't it? If we have to go to somewhere, we use a vehicle, isn't it? Huh? Yes, we may go by the vehicle that we have at home. Sometimes we use a school bus to go to school every day. So what does the school bus do? Pick us from the home, drop us at the school. That's it, isn't it? Yes. So in the same way, these satellite launching vehicles take the satellite from the earth to the space, leave it there. Right? So countries like Russia, then America have been already doing that. And we used to either buy rockets from them or take our satellites to them. Okay? So when they are sending some satellites to the space, along with that, we will include our satellites also. But every time we have to go and ask them, no? If we have our own vehicle, we can send it. Isn't it? So we also wanted to develop our own satellite launching vehicles, but we couldn't do that. So then he was working in ISRO and Abdul Kalam was appointed the project director for developing satellite launching vehicles. Okay, so he had a team of experts. They designed, redesigned, changed, made, tested, failed. So many times this happened. Every time, whenever their launch failed, they tried. See, lots and lots of money they need to put in developing these things. So whenever there is a failure, it's a huge loss for the country too. Okay? But from every failure, they try to learn something new and to develop another version, more improved one. And finally, we developed our own satellite launching vehicle. We call it SLV. Okay? SLV. And finally, the successful version that we have developed is called SLV3. SLV3 means the third version. Okay? So the team led by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam finally succeeded or successfully developed a satellite launching vehicle, and that is called a SLV3. In the year 1980, we had launched our own satellite named Rohini using our own satellite launching vehicle successfully into the space. Okay, so he, with his team, has a successfully developed satellite launching vehicle, the third version of it, the final one, and using that, we have successfully launched and placed an indigenously made satellite, our own satellite, right, in the space. In this process, he also developed so many missiles like Agni, like Prithvi. Okay, so many missiles are basically used in wars. Okay, so army use different kinds of missiles. So that is used from land to land. Okay, so our army is here, our enemy army will be there. From here to there, we need to launch missiles. So they are land to land missiles. If they use any aeroplanes, then land to air missiles have to be used. And if we are in the coastal region, then land to water missiles also we need. No, we still need more. From aeroplanes, we should be able to launch missiles. Isn't it? Either to air or air to land. Again, from ships, from ship to ship, water to water, ship to land, water to land, into air. So many varieties of missiles were developed in a DRDO and ISRO when Abdul Kalam was working in either of them. Okay, so he was behind, or he was the person behind India developing a large number of different types of missiles. So as he was behind these missile projects of India, he is known as the Missile Man of India. So why is Abdul Kalam known as the Missile Man of India? Abdul Kalam is known as the Missile Man of India because he was the person behind India developing a large number of missiles. Okay, so he was known as the Missile Man of India. Now, he also played an important role in a nuclear test. You know, nuclear bombs are there. Okay, it's a very powerful weapon and it's very dangerous also. Okay, during the Second World War, America used two nuclear bombs. One was called Little Boy, the other was called Fat Boy. They are the names of the bombs. Okay, Little Boy and Fat Boy, to defeat Japan. So they dropped these bombs on the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. What happened was a very flourishing city of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the cities, they became what we call barren lands. People, animals, trees, insects, everything was killed. So that actually shocked the world when America used these two bombs on Japan, and when we saw the amount of destruction these bombs can do, we were shocked. And then we have even decided, the world countries have decided that we should not develop such kinds of bombs. We should not use. So the big powerful countries like China or Russia or USA, means America, they have already developed and they have tested them also. India also have developed them. We once checked long back in 1980. We first checked one nuclear bomb in a region called Pokhran in Rajasthan. It's a desert area, there won't be any people there. After that, India tried its second nuclear bomb experiment. Okay, nuclear test. We call it nuclear test. So the second nuclear test that India did was in 1998. That is known as Pokhran 2. Okay. So the second nuclear test that India did was in the year 1998. The same place, Pokhran, which is named as the test is named as Pokhran 2. Dr. Abdul Kalam was a major person in making that test possible and successful. Right? So he had not only developed the satellite launching vehicles for India, in addition to that, he had also made a lot of missiles for the Indian Army, Indian defense systems, and successfully tested the nuclear bomb for the second time at Pokhran. Right? Now, he had been working there. It's a government position, so he got retired. After retirement, he worked as an advisor for the Defense Department of India. Advisor means what? Yes, whenever there is a problem, how the situation has to be handled. Okay, so those kinds of advices were given by him. At the same time, he also worked as a lecturer, as a teacher in very many colleges, universities around India. All throughout India. He used to go to the colleges and he used to take classes for the students. Right? So he was very famous, and in the year 2002, he was elected as the President of India. He was elected as the 11th President of India. Okay, he was elected as the 11th President of India. Then um, he was also the Chancellor, the head of the department or something like that we can say, of Indian Institute of Space and Technology, Space Science and Technology, IISST, Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology. He was very much interested in teaching. Whatever he knows, his experience, his learnings, he always wanted to share those things with the children, and he always demanded children should be allowed to think differently. Let us make them think and learn. Right? It should not be like the teacher said so that should be. No. We have to think. We have to do some experiments also, and then we have to come to our own conclusions. Okay? So, he was a very, very, very great teacher. He loved to go to schools. Usually, science fairs and all these kinds of things will be there, no? Yes. He always wished to go there to interact with the children. So, when they interact with the children, the students, they can ask different kinds of doubts. He can ask his doubts also. So, his session, the children, the students of schools, colleges, universities loved very much. He used to travel all across India to n number of institutions. Right? And he had written some books also. India 2020, a vision for the new millennium. How India has to be from 2020 onwards, means this year onwards. He had a great vision regarding how India has to develop by the time we reach 2020. Then he had written another book called The Wings of Fire. It's his autobiography. He wrote about his own story. Wings of Fire is his autobiography. Then Mission India 2020. Mission India 2020. Ignited minds. Ignited means what? Yes, lighted up minds. The young generation, the school children or the college children, how effective they can be if they are properly guided to think themselves and to come to the new conclusions. So, India 2020, a vision for the new millennium, Ignited Minds, The Wings of Fire, and Mission India 2020 are some of the books that he had written. Okay. At the age of 83, on 27th July 2015, on 27th July 2015, means he was 83 years old at that time. Okay, he was 83 years old, and he went to Shillong. Where is Shillong? Arunachal Pradesh, isn't it? Yes. There is an institute, IIM Shillong. Shillong is in Meghalaya. Shillong is in Meghalaya, a small state in the northeastern part of India. Okay. So, he went to IIM, Indian Institute of Management. Indian Institute of Management, that is located in Shillong. He went there to give a speech to the students. He wanted to take some class, okay, for the students. And as he was speaking to the students, he suffered a heart attack. He collapsed on the stage. He was taken to the hospital, but he could not be saved. So he breathed his last on 27th July 2015 at the age of 83. Can you imagine? An 83-year-old man traveled all the way to Shillong, the northeastern state of India, and he was taking class for the students in the college, Indian Institute of Management. Okay. So that was the last. A great man, a person who has inspired thousands and thousands of people, students who studied in different colleges, universities, institutions, had his last breath. When? On 27th July 2015. Okay. So Arjun read this part about Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam from his book. Teacher said, "Thank you, Arjun. It was a very good reading. You read it very well. I'm so proud of you." So let us encourage Arjun by clapping him. So all the students in the class clapped, and Arjun was lost in his thoughts. Arjun read the lesson about APJ Abdul Kalam so thoroughly. He was like, he was speaking from his heart. He was reading from the heart. The students encouraged around him, and he was quiet. He was very happy and active. When he came to the school in the morning, he came running down the road. He wished to his friends and all. But after this class, he was more silent. He was quiet. He was thinking and thinking. And every day, when he reached home, he told his mother, "Mama, I don't want to become a police officer, but I would like to become a scientist like Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam." What did Arjun say? "I would like to become a scientist like Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, but I don't want to become a police officer anymore." Mama said, "Oh, what do you mean by a scientist?" She doesn't know even what a scientist is. But I understand that is something more than that of a police officer. Earlier you wanted to become a police officer, now you want to become something more than that. But I am sure you will definitely become a scientist. If you want to become a scientist, and if you really want to become it, and if you thoroughly work for that, definitely one day you will become a scientist. Arjun became very happy. And he decided he will become a scientist. Okay? So that is the lesson. Kalam, the idea. A boy from a poor family born in an island region of Rameshwaram became such a huge scientist who played a vital role in developing the satellite launching vehicles for India, a number of missiles for India, then conducting the Pokhran 2 test for India, the President of India, and a person who had lighted the minds of thousands and thousands of youngsters in India. Okay, so we have to read the articles about these kind of great people, because we have got a lot to learn from them. See, he had to go through a number of problems. His family was not financially strong enough to make him study great. But he overcame that. He studied. Isn't it? He studied. He wanted to become an aeronautical engineer, but he became an aerospace engineer. He worked hard. He was made the project director for the satellite launching vehicle program for India. Lot of money was wasted and many times they faced failure. Never mind. Work more, work hard. Because if we work really hard, one day or other, success will be ours. One day or other, success will be definitely ours. Okay? So that is one thing that we have to learn thoroughly from the life of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Right? Even now we can visit his house in the island of Rameshwaram, and there is a museum also in Rameshwaram where we can go through so many things related to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Right? So that is a lesson part, and Now it's a time for us to go through the exercise part of this lesson, right?